Good morning, everyone. My name is Genevieve, and today I am appearing as Totoro to teach you some Qigong. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend pausing this video and going to watch the film My Neighbor Totoro. I'll link it in the description. If you are already familiar with the universe of Totoro or Totoro, please welcome to our lair. So for Halloween, I dressed up as Totoro. I bought the world's worst Totoro costume on Amazon, and I had to tailor it extensively to make it even resemble Totoro. I'll quickly walk you through those alterations. So this is what I bought on Amazon. I filled it with my own stuffing. I bought a fat suit, also on Amazon, thinking that that would work, but a fat suit has the proportions of a human. So using a so-called human-shaped fat suit on Totoro just makes Totoro look very wrong. So don't waste your money. I had this already. This is, for a long time I used this to carry my transit pass, and I used it as my name tag when I was in a educational program. It is a picture of Totoro because I love Totoro, and I was always happy to have this as part of the like ice breaking when meeting a new person, like, oh yeah, I'm Genevieve and I love this movie. And I learned a lot of people have strong positive feelings towards the movie. All right, so if you can find one of these, wear a name tag. It also has a Totoro lanyard. So we're going all the way into the details with that. I also purchased these two little guys. They are properly licensed. Please don't waste your money on pirated ones. Send some money to Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli. And I also made a leaf. Totoro appears sometimes with a leaf on his head or a leaf being held over the head. So I bought some green foam and I used green yarn to stitch it up, and I put some polyfill inside, and I even made a stem. The intention was this would sit on my head, but it popped off immediately upon trick-or-treating. So instead I just carried it in front of me. So this is more or less what my Totoro costume ended up looking like. I trick-or-treated with a little wooden bucket in my hand, and I kept these guys like at my chest level, like cradled in my hand. The original idea was to like string them behind me on a pull toy, like a pull duck that a toddler has. I'm so glad I didn't do that, you guys, because trick-or-treating was a zoo and there's no way I could have pulled something peacefully behind me. It was really good to be able to like nestle together with my guys. All right, and as I mentioned, we're here for Qigong. Actually, let me put them back here. So in Qigong, at least in the class that I have been taking, we think a lot about animals. How do animals move? Animals also are living creatures on the earth. They also have qi, so let's think about how they move and try to use some of their movements to change how we're moving and see if we can explore different dimensions of ourselves through that mechanism. So we have an incredible routine called 5 Animals Qigong. I will put a link in the description to the teacher we learned from on video. I highly recommend a watch of that if you're taken by this idea of animals in your Qigong. Totoro has a completely non-human shape. If you can see here on the screen, Totoro is basically like an oval. So in Qigong, we spend a lot of time like differentiating our neck from our waist, from our hips, but Totoro doesn't really have a neck, as my 10-year-old pointed out, and hips and waist don't really seem distinguished. They kind of all seem like one big, almost like egg shape moving around. So that's what I started playing with when I did my Totoro Qigong. Instead of like a human form, I have this like ovoid form. And that means my like biggest point is my girth around, on a human we would call it your waist, probably. And as you know, I love the ping dimension, the flat dimension, the z in XYZ coordinate space, and that is called the Dai Mai. The energy channel that goes around you in a pink circle, a flat circle, is called your Dai Mai. So Totoro's Dai Mai, because he's shaped like that, is unbelievably powerful. And so when I was inhabiting Totoro as a character, I could really feel my huge Dai Mai all around me. And I even felt it when I was like crowding through the trick-or-treaters. I was like, here I come, watch out for my giant girth. And I did feel that people sort of parted like the Red Sea to make space for the giant Totoro. And I'm gonna turn around so you can see the back. I forgot a costume modification we made in the back. So this crappy suit from Amazon came with like a hanging down tail, almost like a mouse tail or something. So we had to cut that off. And from a tube sock, we constructed this like more Totoro-ish tail. And when you're doing Totoro Qigong, your Dai Mai goes behind you as well as in front. So you have this huge flat circle all the way around your body, including all the way around your back. So a lot of the motions we do in Qigong that are in that ping dimension, that flat plane, you can really tune into them with your Totoro Qigong. And needless to say, you can do your Totoro Qigong without the whole getup, without changing your body or your costume in any way. Just use your regular human clothes and imagine that you have that different shape. You are just like a huge ovoid shape. So I spent a lot of time with my Dai Mai. Something that we do in our Qigong class is called the Windmill. So that would be like this motion. I would be like swinging my arms around in the ping dimension. That feels really good when you're Totoro. Because when your arms land, they actually like bounce off your soft packing material. Feels great. And I'll show you the back. My hand kind of hits me in the tail, or next to the tail, which is a way of like activating the back. In your normal human body, we would call the back of your danshan the Ming Man, and you can really feel the back of your danshan when you're doing this with that big girth behind you. And then another move that we love in my Qigong class for exploring the Dai Mai and the ping dimension is called the Grindstone. In the Grindstone, you're visualizing like a huge millstone used to like crush grain. You're picturing that in front of you, and real grindstones in real life have a huge handle that you turn. So you can sort of picture yourself moving that like flat millstone. It's a flat round thing moving in the flat plane, and just feel that you are moving that wheel. And remember what I said about going behind yourself. So your millstone is not just out here in front of you, it's going all the way around your own back. So when you're coming back like this to your waist, you're actually sending the chi behind you, and it whips around your back and you catch it on the other side. So I'll show you that again. So that's the front. And now as it comes around, your chi goes behind you, and you pick it up behind you, in front of you, behind you, catch it in front of you. And so if you draw the shape your arms are making, it's more like a big jelly bean. So big curve, then this like funny jelly bean middle shape. But in your mind, you're visualizing the perfect circle going behind yourself as well as in front. And then just go back the other way. Ooh, I think I forgot to do the windmills in both directions, so please remember, if you're doing your Totoro Qigong, go back and do the other direction. Okay, so that's the grindstone, one of my favorite exercises in all of Qigong. And just one more for today. In our Qigong class, we call this all the way. You basically whip all your chi all the way around your Dai Mai fast and feel it kind of like crunch into the back and the side. So let me just demonstrate. And it's different from the windmill, because in the windmill you're going back and forth, kind of symmetrical. Oh, that's right, that's why we didn't do windmills the other way. All windmills go both ways, sorry, my bad. But with all the way, you're going around all the way, and then these hands are just creeping back. And so you do it to one side, feel the chi just like burst out, and then you can go back the other way. All right, so the last thing I'll mention about Totoro Qigong for today is that your danshen is that huge sphere that sits inside your pelvic girdle. We've talked about it before as like a sphere that's a universal ball bearing. It can change, it can move in any direction, to the sides, to the front, to the back, around in the ping dimension. When you're huge as Totoro in real life or in your imagination, your danshen can expand. So you can try out the feeling of having a really big danshen, bigger than normal perhaps. And that is cool because something I've learned in my Qigong class is that your danshen does not have a fixed shape. When you first start studying Qigong, the lore is that your danshen actually starts tiny and starts to grow. So that's great. You can explore that with Totoro shape. But then as you increase mastery, your danshen begins to shrink again. And it may eventually even shrink all the way down into a perfect crystal of chi. So I never recommend doing Qigong with like a grasping attitude, like I want to get something. But if you do want to focus some grasping on anything in Qigong, you could think, how can I grow my danshen? And then how can I shrink it down into that perfect crystal of chi by studying this my entire life, maybe into my next lifetime. Maybe you'll be reincarnated to this Totoro. All right, so this is our Totoro Qigong. There will be a part 2 to this video, so please stay tuned for that as well. As usual, let's salute our masters. And we salute our classmates, that includes all of you. Thank you for joining us for Totoro Qigong. See you again soon.